Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the newly released Komala in the Great League Remix Cup. We're going to have a team here as well with the double, which is also currently spawning during the event, and also the Cresselia, which is running the move Future side, which is something that I was curious if it's actually better than the other one. As you see, by the way, in the top right corner, I see like sometimes items popping up. I was playing while I was walking outside trying to get the Komala, so I always see some people confused. You can do this with any kind of Go Plus, Gotcha, whatever you have. There's also now the Pokemon Go Plus available, at least in the US. For me, it's still a week until I get mine. But yeah, today we're going to take a look at Komala. Komala is a very, I don't know, squishy Pokemon that has access to the move or rollout, which at least generates energy very fast, but only has nukes. And this is going to be also a little bit of an issue, of course, for this Pokemon, as it does not really have anything where it can get too fast. You need always kind of 15 turns to get to a charge move here, and this of course takes a while. This always takes a while, and especially as you don't have the book for it, it is a little bit tricky sometimes. But as you're going to see in this video as well, it's going to be sometimes kind of funny because people don't know about this Pokemon yet. As we're going to get out a Buzzwole, and we have of course the move Play Rough. Do they know? Let's take a look at this one. Boom! Goodbye Buzzwole, and this is going to be it for this Pokemon, which was hilarious. And this did not happen only once, it happened several times during this video as well, where Komala just one-shot opponents which were just unaware of the moveset, which is always the fun thing about a new Pokemon that's been released. There hasn't been really a lot of new Pokemon being released recently, other than like Turtonator, where I was away on vacation, so it's kind of nice to have something new again, right? So if you enjoyed this video as well, leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Of course, I wasted like 100 Stardust, 100, exactly 100 Stardust, not 100,000, it's definitely just 100 Stardust, on this Pokemon that has pretty horrible IVs as well, because this Pokemon is insanely rare. I've been walking outside for half an hour, I found 3 of them, one was even higher than it was like allowed for this Great League, so all of them had horrible IVs that didn't really want to wait for too long. Usually for me, when a new Pokemon is released, I always play for around half an hour and then take whatever I get. Here we're going to have the scenario that I went for the Grass Knot, which still doesn't matter because the opponent going to be able to knock me out here anyway. The Body Slam here, even if I went for it, I wouldn't have been able to knock them out either, so like this wasn't a misplay by me, it was just unfortunate. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to have a Toxapex in the lead. We have Future side, which is going to be very interesting for this matchup here right now. Let's see if it lands. It does not land. They're going to shield this move up, even though you didn't see the shield, they definitely shielded this. And so I'm going to shield as well, as the opponent going to swap out into a Vigoroth. And we can take another Future side here right now. And honestly, yes, Future side can work, but there were also a lot of times where I was like, I wish I had Moonblast. There were a lot of Dragonairs that I've seen, there were a lot of Scrafties I've seen, and especially this team doesn't really deal too well with Scrafty in general, as you see maybe with the 2 Pokemon in the back there. So for this team, definitely Moonblast is going to be the better move to go for, like 100%, there's like no doubt about this. But I still kind of want to try it out here for this video today. But also, what I have to say for Double, which is also spawning now in the wild, to definitely get a good one, Wild Charge is really cool for this current meta. I can highly recommend your Wild Charge over Payback. Honestly, definitely a move that I would definitely go for instead of the Payback. Like, it's just so much better. Here, I had one more chance of winning this game. If the opponent throws fairly early, and I will be able to get a shield, which I'm going to be able to get here right now, I might be able to reach the Play Rough with my good friend Komala. But the opponent going to decide to basically throw when they had 100 energy, and like this, as you're going to see as well right now, Komala has no chance of surviving this. Yes, we have also horrible IVs, but the IVs will not matter too much for this Pokemon because it's already insanely squishy without bad IVs. So like we had no chance of winning this game here sadly anymore. If I went straight for the foul play, I would have been able to win this game for sure. Okay, not for sure, to be fair. I actually wouldn't. I most likely still would have lost to 1 foul play, to be fair there. But yeah, we're going to have another horrible lead for us. We had so many bad leads for Cresselia, it was kind of wild as well. But at least we're going to be able to now go for one Future side against the opponent, which is going to do more damage than a Moonblast, and actually going to do some damage in general to them. And as you see, my backline really doesn't want to face this Pokemon, so the opponent going to swap out into a Jellicent, and it's time for Komala. Of course, our Double would have been the most likely the better Pokemon to go for, but of course, we have to showcase Komala here today. That's exactly what I'm gonna go for. They're gonna go for the Surf, I'm gonna go for the Overfarm, and gonna go to the Payback here right now. which will be able to knock them out, and Komala is claiming some kills here right now, as you're gonna be able to go for another payback here, and this payback is going to now go ahead and get the shield from the opponent, allowing us to go into our double, allowing us to use a shield here right now. And now we are shield down, but we are in a really decent spot, especially as they have the Toxapex in the back. And they don't know about my wild charge yet, but now they're definitely gonna know about it. And now the opponent is also in range for one future sight, but I feel like it's fairly obvious that they're most likely going to shield this move up. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go for the Grass Knot instead, and I can even go for 2 Grass Knots. It doesn't really matter too much, and the opponent going to actually let this move go through, which is not really ideal. I should undercharge it even more than this. But yeah, like this, I am going to still be able to farm down, as Cresselia is fairly bulky and going to do as much damage as the opponent there with the Psycho Cut, which is really nice for me. Let's take a look at the next opponent. As we're going to have here the Pidgeot in the lead, we can go for the future side, which will be able to now do some pretty nice damage against the opponent, does connect. Actually, like, Future Sight is a cool move. I think it's just a team around where it doesn't really make too much sense. The opponent going to swap into their own Cresselia, and you know already what time it is, right? It is time for Komala to go for a payback. And do they know about this move? Let me know in the comment section. They do not. It is going to be able to just one-shot the opponent, and we can now take a look at the Vigoroth coming in here. They're of course going to be able to do a lot of damage against me and knock me out with a one more charge move, but it is double time here right now. We should be able to outspeed them for body slams usually, but of course they had some extra energy here, which can be a little bit tricky for me, but I will be able to use a shield here in order to, get not as much damage onto my double, but they're going to be able to now farm up extra, and they're going to swap out into the Pidgeot, which we're going to be able to knock out with a future side. This is going to be such a close game here right now, as the opponent still is forced to go for a charge move here. Let's see if this is going to, this is definitely going to knock me out, but let's see if we can get to 2 body slams in time here right now. We still have more health than the opponent, but the opponent has more energy than us. And as you're going to see here right now as well, the opponent will be able to go for another charge move, and this is going to put us sadly into range for just 2 counters there or something. So there's nothing that I can do here sadly, and I will go down. So let's take a look at the next opponent here. We're going to have the Dragonair in the lead. Again, I wish I had Moonblast. Moonblast is just a little bit less energy than Future Sight, and also does do super effective damage. And the opponent swaps onto my bait into a Pokemon where Future Sight would have one-shot them. But I just cannot stay in there, because the opponent would have known if I stayed in there, they're definitely going to run Future Sight over Moonblast. So I'm forced to swap out here into my Komala. This was so unfortunate. Like, this was super, super sad. Like, if I just went straight for my charge move there, they would have caught a super effective move instead of a double resisted move onto their Ariados. So that was really sad. And of course, first cross poison they go for instant double boost. How would it ever be different here, right? That's what we always know from the game. As we're going to now at least going to be able to go for on body slam against the opponent. And yeah, I'm going to let this move go through and try to farm down, but honestly we're in such a bad spot. It would have been such a different game if I just was able to hit a future sight immediately. Speaking of hitting a future sight though, bye bye Golbat, I can farm you down. Goodbye there. So we still have a chance here right now. It's going to be the Dragonair coming back in, but they have some energy, and I'm going to have to bait the opponent here, I feel like. I'm going to have to shield this move up as well, and I'm gonna go for the... Oh no, they have already another charge move. That's going to be so bad for us. As the body slam is coming through, I have to go for my own future sight at this point of time, as they can farm me down. Is one body slam enough to knock them out though? Not from this range as far as I know. Maybe I actually would have been able to knock out the other Dragonair before. I actually would have. No, I misplayed the other one because I over-predicted them to swap out into their 1 HP Galvantula. No. So I could have actually won one more game with the knowledge that I have now, which is kind of sad, but that's... okay, it's totally fine. As we're going to now have the Scrafty against us. Here, for example, is where definitely Future Sight is not the right move to go for, and it's a little bit tricky right now. But the opponent usually doesn't really know about the moveset here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go for the Future Sight. Do they know about the Golbat? They do know about it, but I can swap out into my Dubwool. And my Dubwool going to have a great time here right now, as the opponent went straight for the charge move, allowing me to overfarm by a little bit, and the wild charge is coming through to knock out the opponent's Golbat. A wild charge is just such a game changer for me. This move is so strong on this Pokemon. Definitely can recommend you, like, especially if you're going to be able to get a double now during this event, definitely try to run the wild charge on this Pokemon. It is a ton of fun. Speaking of a ton of fun, we can at least go ahead and do some damage against the opponent's Crafty, but let's hope that they're going to have something in the back that we can counter with our Cresselia. It's going to be a Mandibuzz. They're running a double Dark Line because they're not scared of the Charm users. I actually should make a video about a Charm user as well, because honestly, people are not prepared. Like, all the teams are so weak to Charm Pokemon because of all the Poison Pokemon that are also still around, but there's like so many double weak Pokemon to Charm, it's kinda wild. So maybe I'm actually going to try to make a video about Charm as well. Who knows? I don't know. We will see. But at least for now, we're going to be able to now go ahead and take a look at the next game. It's going to be up against a Quagsire. In comes another Dark-type Pokemon, and I was super confused. I was, by the way, walking home at this point of time, so I was not really paying too much attention on the screen, or like didn't really see it because of the sun. It's literally 30 degrees here outside for like the European temperature. It's not cold or anything like this, it's very warm here. So it's going to be a little bit tricky here right now, as he at least going to be able to get a shield advantage, but the shield advantage you're most likely going to lose fairly fast here, as they do a ton of damage with their Air Slash. I still will be able to go for the Body Slam here, and we cannot reach the Wild Charge in time. I kinda want to keep some energy alive here, and also like, in general, some health on my double. So I'm gonna go for 2 more fast moves, go for the Wild Charge, and say goodbye to the opponent's Mandibuzz, as I'm going to be able to now swap out into my Cresselia, and they have a Charizard in the back. Do they know about it? They do not know about it, and Future Sight is taking a chunk of their health, which is just so good to see. As the Blast Burn is coming through, we can farm them all the way down, and in comes now the Quagsire again. And this is going to be a fairly easy matchup here. But of course, you know me already. I cannot just go ahead and try to take a win or something like this. I'm going to have to go for a Grass Knot right now. And you know already what I'm going to do next. I'm gonna go into my double and gonna go for the Wild Charge because it's resisted and it's fun. So, boom, bye-bye, Quagsire. I think they're forfeited or something, but that's totally fine for me, and we will be able to win this game here as well, which is actually kind of nice. We actually won quite few games, which is cool to see as well with Komala. As we're going to go now into the final game. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let's aim for like 500 likes. I haven't really done any like goal or whatever for ages. Would be really cool if we can hit this for the new sleepy Pokemon Komala. But yeah, that's going to be the final game here, and we're going to be able to go for 1 Wild Charge, but the opponent gonna go ahead and shield this move up. Smart decision by the opponent, because they can now go for the Feather Dance and debuff me, but they're gonna go into their Toxic Rogue next, which I feel is kinda weird, as, I mean, now I can just go ahead and go into my Cresselia, go for 2 more fast moves, going to knock them out, and realign my Pokemon. I expect them to have the champ in the back, so I'm going to swap out here right now with my Komala. And as you're going to see right now, they're gonna go ahead and go for the Feather Dance again. I should have let this move go through, no. And they're actually going to stay in here for longer than they wanted to. It's kind of awkward. And now I'm gonna force to be going for the play rough, and it's going to be the Surf Edge here actually. And I make a huge mistake here right now. I didn't expect the opponent to throw right away, and they did throw right away, and this was definitely my mistake. And I do another mistake here by going for bubbles. I shouldn't have went for the 2 bubbles there, or like the 3 bubbles. If I didn't go for that, I would have been able to win this game, because I needed a little bit more energy in order to knock out the Pidgeot with a Future Sight later on. And I just don't have that energy, sadly, right now. So they're going to be definitely able to outspeed me, spoiler alert, so it's going to be sadly a loss here for the end. But I still hope that you enjoyed this video. Definitely not the best Pokemon that ever have been seen in the game. There's a lot of potential for Komala though, as it learns something like Body Slam, or like even better moves like Counter or something, I think, in the main series game. So definitely something that they can buff in the future. Hopefully they do, because it's a very squishy Pokemon. Would be very cool to see them having some better moves. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. There are 2 videos on the screen. Check them out if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.